Did you know that there is a place on Earth marked by an invisible barrier, or an invisible wall, if you will, that no living creature can cross? It sounds unbelievable, doesn't it? But believe me, it is the absolute truth. Yes, today I will take you to a mysterious island home to this invisible boundary, a demarcation line we call the invisible line. Nature itself has constructed this enigmatic barrier which lies between the Indonesian islands of Bali and Lombok. For the animals inhabiting these two regions, crossing this boundary is simply impossible. The distance separating them is a mere 35 kilometers. Yet despite this proximity, the animals of one region cannot make the journey to the other side. Indeed, an invisible force resides here, one that prevents any creature from crossing over. How? Let's find out. On one side of the divide between Bali and Lombok, you find a specific array of animal species. On the other side, an entirely different set of creatures prevails. As you travel between the two islands, you will realize that the entire landscape, everything you have just witnessed, transforms completely in an instant. Yes, if you travel from Bali to Lombok, you will observe a total shift in the surrounding environment. Perhaps the most peculiar aspect of this mysterious boundary is that, with the sole exception of humans, it is utterly impassable for any other animal or fish. Not even a bird can fly across it. You must be wondering, what lies within this 35-kilometer stretch that renders it impenetrable to animals attempting to cross from one side to the other? Behind this boundary lies an invisible force, and to unravel the mystery of this invisible wall, we must journey back 150 years in time. Why did this come to be? Let us return to the past. It was a British researcher named Alfred Russel Wallace who first discovered this mysterious line. Little did he know that his discovery would one day astonish the entire world. Born into an ordinary family in England, Alfred displayed a keen interest in his studies from a very young age. However, his family's financial hardships compelled him to abandon his formal education and embark on a journey alongside his father, a professional cartographer. Yet this very decision would prove to be the most pivotal moment of his life, and indeed for our world as well. He began traveling to various places where he immersed himself in natural environments, collecting a diverse array of plants, animals, and insects. It was in this manner that, one day in 1854, he took a boat and ventured 35 kilometers away to the island of Lombok. Upon his arrival there, he realized for the very first time that something extraordinary was taking place. He encountered creatures he had never seen before, strange animals such as the Komodo dragon, the kangaroo, and the koala. Where had these animals come from? Why were they absent from Bali and other neighboring islands? Wallace and his companions were utterly astonished. A profound question now confronted him. Why did this particular island harbor such a diverse and unique array of wildlife? He sensed that some underlying force was at work, yet this enigmatic situation left him deeply perplexed. However, the solution would take some time to emerge. In the interim, he fell victim to a peculiar illness that compelled him to remain confined to a single spot for rest. It was during this period of convalescence that an extraordinary concept regarding this mysterious boundary first took shape in his mind, a realization that marked the very first step on the path toward becoming a globally renowned and unforgettable figure. As Wallace lay resting, a curious thought crossed his mind. He realized that the phenomena unfolding before him were far from ordinary. The distinct biological diversity, manifested in the animals, birds, and fish, found between Bali and Lombok was no mere coincidence. Some powerful invisible force was keeping them apart. But what exactly was this force? A whirlwind of thoughts began to churn within Wallace's mind. Three specific questions swirled through his consciousness. First, why did the animals on these two islands never intermingle? Second, why were even the birds unable to cross this invisible boundary? And third, why were the fish on either side of this divide so vastly different? Eventually, Wallace concluded that something truly mysterious was at play, and based on his observations, he formulated a theory. Wallace posited that at one time, Bali and Lombok had been physically connected. Long ago, when the Earth's geography was vastly different, the continents of Asia and Australia were joined together. However, as global temperatures rose and sea levels surged, these two landmasses gradually began to drift apart, eventually separating completely. According to Wallace's theory, the animals inhabiting the island of Bali are primarily of Asian origin, such as elephants, tigers, and numerous other species. Conversely, the animals residing on the island of Lombok are Australian in nature, including kangaroos, koalas, and Komodo dragons. These distinct groups of animals are unable to intermingle because they diverged millions of years ago, a time when a single supercontinent fractured, giving rise to new islands and oceans. This theory did not merely explain the biodiversity of that era. Rather, from a scientific standpoint, it fundamentally transformed our understanding of the Earth. Although many years have passed since that time, scientific advancements have now revealed to us that our planet has never been static. It is in fact a dynamic entity where continents are gradually drifting apart through the process of plate tectonics, a process that remains ongoing to this day. However, Wallace's work went a step further. He demonstrated that it was not merely the animals that had diverged, but the entire environment itself. The ocean waters, the atmosphere, and the soil had all undergone transformation. While this subtle shift often goes unnoticed by the casual observer, those who dedicate themselves to studying nature, the environment, and wildlife seem capable of physically sensing this invisible barrier. This profound insight of Wallace constituted a groundbreaking discovery, his seminal theory. His theory was so profound that it compelled us to fundamentally rethink everything in order to comprehend this enigmatic world. Indeed, just consider what exactly lies within a mere 35-kilometer span that prevents animals, including fish and birds, from crossing from one side to the other.